I'm going to go over how to make these 2 paper bows that you can put on cards or presents or whatever you want. They are featured on the back of the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. It's this one and this one, and I'm going to show you how to do it. The first bow we're going to do is this one. It's the simpler of the 2, and what you need to make this are strips of cardstock or designer series paper. And the measurements for these, this is 1 inch by 8.5. This is 3/4 inch by 6, 3/4 inch by 3.5, 3/4 inch by 3, and 3/4 inch by 1 and 3/4 inch. And these don't have to be exact because you're going to finagle it a little bit to make your bow look exactly the way you want. Now the adhesive that I'm using for this, you want 3 different kinds. You're going to want just gift wrapping, Scotch tape, clear tape, your snail adhesive, and the strongest mini glue dots. If you only have one to work with, you're going to want this one. You may also want the 1 inch punch, or you could just use scissors on this. Also, you could use the bitty banners to make those. Another suggestion, you may want to make it out of scrap paper first. Okay, let's get started. Take your longest strip of paper and with a bone folder, just smooth this out, or you can use a ruler, or you could even use your fingernail and get that. It just makes it so it's more pliable. Then you're going to overlap it, maybe 1/4 inch, and adhere it. And do that. This one's already been done with the second longest piece. Alright, this is the tricky part, and it's completely optional. If you wanted, you could adhere this down like this, and then stretch it a little bit, and then put this one right on top. And then you could take the smallest piece and fold it around and adhere it, and that could be your bow. But the one that they did has a little bit more interest. See how it curves down? So if you would like, you can take this piece, hold it in the center, and very carefully just cut a little bit in, and then cut a little bit out, like so, and then turn it around and do the same thing. And you can try it a couple different times to get a deeper look if you want. I have found that just doing a tiny bit is the best way, because you can always do more. And then you just kind of push it out like that. And then you do the same thing on this one. Okay, so there we have both of these done. And then you take the smallest piece. I kind of put my fingers in there to fluff each of these edges. Then you take the smallest piece, fold it around, and tape it in the back like that. Just for fun, I'm going to untape this and show you what this piece of paper looks like. It's just slightly weaved in and out. And it's good to use the Scotch tape, because then you can make this exactly the right size. I'm going to actually pull this in a little bit more than I had it before, so that this one can poof in tighter, and that makes it look more the way I would like it to look. Alright, now I'm going to adhere this. Just folded it, put a little bit of snail on the back of this, and I fold it in as tight as I can. And then I come in the front and just take these. You can actually move it a little bit so it's centered exactly how you want it. There you go. Okay, take your uneven pieces, put them right on top of each other like this. Then take your 1 inch square punch, line it up just like that. And you can have... Alright, almost done. Put these on top of each other and adhere them. Then you can trim so nothing shows. Put a little bit of snail and put this right on top. Now if you want all these things to stick forever, you can use the mini glue dots. If I was going to put this on my project, I would put 3 mini glue dots, and that will get it to stick really good. Okay, there's the first one. This is the second bow that they did. I used red pattern paper and a giant corduroy brad. This is theirs. They did green pattern paper and a silver brad. Okay, to make this, you're going to need to get your paper. This square is 2.5 by 2 1/4, and then I cut it exactly in half to get these 2 long triangles. Then the 2 side pieces are just 3/4 inch again, and these are 3 3/4 inch long. Doesn't matter how long they are, just as long as they're the same. Then you also need a brad and a paper piercing tool. I use my paper piercing tool mat so I can get the brad in there nice and tight. Okay, get your 2 triangles, and with a bone folder or your fingernail, you need to go and just kind of break down this paper so it's bendable and it will curl better. Then you'll put a little adhesive right here and right here. And you'll bring these points down. And I just used the snail because the brad is what's going to hold these down tight. So you're just going to pull those in. You can see on both sides. Okay, there's the first one, and then you get your finger in there and you can kind of get it to poof a little bit. Okay, then we'll do the same thing on this one. So just bring it in and you can poof it a little bit. Okay, so then you have your 2 sides of the bow. Let's do the tails. Take your paper, and since this is pattern paper, I'm going to flip one of them over, line them up at the bottom, and just to get a straight edge, I'm going to use the square punch. I'm just going to line up my angle, and there I have my tails, how I want them. So you take these 2 pieces and these 2, and now we're going to put them all together with the brad. All right, let's line up our pieces. This is the spongy part from inside my clear case. This works great with your paper piercing tool because it leaves a hole, and I'll show you. So you'll get this. I adhered the tails and I trimmed it, and I held these down really tight and poofed them exactly how I wanted them. Now I'll just lay them on top of each other. That's why I said you don't have to use super awesome adhesive because this is going to hold it all together. Then pierce it, and then get your brad. So all those holes that it's going to go through, I can easily put it through because I can take this out and hold it in place and put the brad all the way in. And that went through all those pieces, and then you can just open it up and that will secure it in place. Now if you don't have a super awesome brad, I collect them, so I always have a really cute one. If you don't, you can just put a boring brad on, and then you could put a pearl or a jewel on top to make it more interesting. There's the second one. Love it.